Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Have you ever wondered how to edit?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I, Motch, am about to show you how to edit like a YouTuber.
Are you ready?
Before going into this tutorial, you need to know a few things. Let me just go into an example project to show you what I'm talking about. So, ignore all this. You need to know basically how to move around on a project. You can use this, you can use the arrow keys. You have to know this is the selection tool, this is the razor tool, this is the track select forward tool. Basically, that allows you to move things back and forth. It's very useful. Obviously, when picking a software, I'm using Premiere Pro. You can do these things in other programs. I use Premiere Pro, so I use the specific names of the tools. There's other equivalents in other programs. So this is the type tool, this is the rectangle tool, and when you go into an effect controls panel, keyframes happen when you press this. When you do this, you can set anything you want on here and then change it at another keyframe when you hit here. That's basically everything you need to know, because everything else is kind of self-explanatory. I'm going to show you step by step what you're going to do. The first thing you're going to want to do, obviously, is make a project. There's different ways to do this in other programs, but in Premiere Pro, it's pretty simple. Just name the project. The thing I'm doing to do an example is the review of my new phone. Next thing you want to do is hit import media, double click, and you can import whatever you want. So once you upload your files, they'll all be sorted here. What you're going to want to do to start a new timeline is just drag one of them on and it'll give it a name here. If you want to change the name, then you just have to right click and hit rename. That'll be the title here, and when you export, that is what it will say. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make a rough cut of your video. You have all your files, right? I'm going to put them in order real quick. I'm just going to put the first review section of it, gonna drag it over. You know how to drag by now. You just drag it back and forth with the left click, and you can use the track select forward tool to select anything that's past your cursor. It's really convenient. Okay, putting this back in here. So we can see the audio here. For most of my recordings, and for most of the recordings you'll be doing, you'll have your audio separated, but since there's just one track here, it makes it easier. So we're gonna skip through all this. Man, that framing is bad, but we're gonna try to fix it. And what I like to do is clap sync my audio, so we will go to right when I hit my clap here, which is right here. What I do is I record with a separate audio source through this lav mic that's in this bag here. So I just drag this on. After I make a selection with the in and out tools here, I can just sync it up. Yeah. And then just drop it over, and that'll be the audio for the majority of it. It's a different color because Premiere Pro changes when you upload audio versus when you upload video with audio. It's a different color. It doesn't really matter, but
Ladies and gentlemen.
so we can see where the audio starts and ends. You kind of have to use your ears. You know, I can't give you an exact frame of reference for when you should cut, but I usually cut pretty soon. So we can delete all this and hit ripple delete, and then this is the start of the video. And then what we can do is we can upload. Actually, I'm gonna do something different. Intro and outro music. I have a different song that we could use that has the same style that the first channel uses. This is a song, Star by Bobby Saint. It's a very good song. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I selected it because of the ladies and gentlemen. But we can drag the audio up so it doesn't interfere. And you always want to make sure there's not too much blank space between your audio for the most part, unless your videos are like that, where it's just not very edited. I just cut here.
Today we have an exciting video because we're sitting in front of the camera.
Out of frame. Look at that. That is terrible. So then we can do, in the effect controls, zoom. With the scale, you can drag it left and right to make it a little easier for yourself.
In which that case, you probably know what's happening.
And then we need to drag this over because I have an idea. Yeah, this is the title. So always make sure your audio isn't too delayed. Yeah, cut that down. And then that is our intro. Alrighty, we're done with the intro. I do a mix of a rough cut and adding music because I'm impatient and I don't want to wait and I kind of want to get a preview. So far we have a pretty decent intro.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Basically, you're just using the cut tool or whatever the equivalent is in other programs. I call it the cut tool, but it's called the razor tool in Premiere Pro. But since you hit the C key to get it, I call it the cut tool. And you're basically just doing a cut for every time you want to skip, and then you use the ripple delete, or you just drag stuff over if your software doesn't have that. You know, Premiere Pro is, you know, it's good and bad. I wouldn't recommend it, but I also would at the same time, you know, because I use it every time I make a video, but I could have used a better software for sure. You make your own decision based on what you see. If it crashes in this video, or if you see lag, then you know what to expect. So we have like roughly 40 minutes to edit. So anytime I want to call something out, I'll let you know. What you want to do if you want to track somebody, a very simple way to do that is to just change the position. Just do this, and then you can do that.
Hey, my voice broke.
There's probably a way that you could track more consistently, but I just do it because I don't try to like outline people with keyframes and stuff.
iPhone.
And if you ever want to intersperse audio, like if you say something and then you're like, wait, I said that again, but I want it to sound better, you can intersperse it. So what I'm doing is just looking here at the exact time when the audio starts to make sure it sounds the most smooth, right around here.
It's the iPhone.
Look at that, that was seamless.
It's the iPhone 15 Pro Max.
Make sure that you're not adding a little bit of delay before each clip because that can get annoying. Lots of just pure cutting right now. And what you'll find is you'll be sifting through a lot of footage that you may not deem good. So when you're doing that, just make sure that you don't cut out too much. Like put in a little bit for context when you're switching between scenes, because then otherwise it'll be really confusing.
We have the designed and
Oh, I hate that. I hate that. I hate when Premiere Pro just immediately sends you back. What is it? Shift and I? That kills me, bro.
shikes anymore. Also, we have one of these pieces of shit. It's USB-C now. I have to use USB.
Oh, to teach you how to censor swear words, let me just do that for you real quick. Just go to where you want to censor, and then I have a bleep sound effect, but you can get your own, and then you can just put that there, and then put it there, and then that's pretty simple. Pretty simple. Now it's censored, watch.
It's USB.
It's pretty convenient to do that if you don't want your videos to get like demonetized in the future, if you want your videos like that. So as you can see, we've really only made it like 2 minutes in, but that's kind of how it's going to be. When you're editing videos, you might decide that you don't have a lot of interesting footage. As you can see, we're slowly ticking down the amount of like total video we have left. So if we can get this to like maybe 5 or 10 minutes, I'll be satisfied. To type text, most of the time you just hit T and then you can hit it, type whatever you want, go over here and you can change the font to whatever you want, but you have to make sure you have it selected fully. Change the font, change the font style, change the size, change the orientation so it's center or right aligned. You can have all these options here, and you kind of don't need most of them unless you're doing something fancy, but then you can also change the stroke to make it so it stands out in the background. If you add a stroke that's black in the background and increase that, it'll be much easier to see. Don't do it too much. Do it like 5 or 6 and then add a shadow and then change that to black as well, and it'll be much more appealing. So that's how you do text. And you'll find that sometimes editing can be very frustrating. Sometimes it's very fun, like watching yourself or watching whatever you're editing back. You're like, oh my gosh, that was so funny, or that was so cringe, or whatever you think. But one thing that makes me frustrated is that if you're editing and then all of a sudden it crashes or it quits and then you lose your progress and it doesn't autosave in time, it just kills your entire mood and it makes you really not want to do it. It discourages you a lot. So what I do is I autosave every minute. So once a minute, I autosave in Premiere Pro. If you can change your autosave settings in another program, I would do it. Because if you expect crashes or if you expect just different things, like if you lose 10 minutes, that could either be really bad or it could be like nothing if you edit slow. If you edit faster, you get a bunch of work done in 10 minutes and then it's all gone. It really sucks. So make sure you autosave.
Camera and
Okay. What I like to do a lot is just pause or rewatch stuff I've edited just to make sure that I like it. You probably won't do that nearly as much. I just like to do that. That kind of slows me down a little bit, but I like to watch what I've already made to make sure that it's all edited, because you'll want to go back and make sure that you didn't leave any stuff you didn't want. You can see what I'm doing here, right? I'm trimming things and putting them. I'm not doing a complete rough cut because I'm adding some stuff, so it'll be more like an advanced rough cut, but I'm still editing, so this is really all you need to know. You can rough cut and you can intersperse some actual stuff so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like. That helps me edit more, because if I just have nothing and it's just the raw video, then I'm going to feel like I don't know what I'm doing.
that's the one thing I don't like, because I have to sign in with a freaking email every time you get a new device. How about I just kill myself?
How about I just kill myself? How about I just end this video right now?
How about I just end this video right now?
Oh my god, I didn't even know I said that. I forgot. By the way, keyframes. An example, you put a keyframe here at the regular scale, and then you can put another keyframe here where it goes in and out. That's how you do keyframes.
Still loading.
Okay, now we finally have the rough cut of the video. It's roughly 11 and a half minutes. Pretty much just filler, really. Because this video probably isn't going to be actually on my YouTube channel. So this is just an example video. Now we're going to do some of the extra stuff, like adding music. Very loud. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not film all of the video that I was supposed to film. I got a new webcam. I know the lighting looks weird. If you want me to be all orange, I can turn the lights on. I actually don't care. I'm going to just turn the lights on. Like this, it's a little bit better. Okay, so I am in the same iPhone 15 Pro Max review that I was doing for this video. We're going to go through here and show you exactly how to add background music, how to add sound effects, and how to make sure that you can actually regulate the audio. Because something I did not know when I was first making videos with background music and sound effects is that it wasn't properly tuned, meaning that the audio would be too loud or the video would be too quiet. So we're just gonna get into it. So we have our background music here. If we drag it on, you can see the audio levels. The audio levels are here. We can isolate the audio by hitting solo. But when we do this,
Today we have an exciting video because we're sitting in front of the camera.
at first it may not seem too much of a big deal, but the audio is kind of competing with itself. The video that I recorded and the audio from that is competing with the background music that I'm adding on in post. So what I want to do is show you the way that I usually change the volume and then also the traditional way. The traditional way is to go into the effect controls panel and move this down or move this up if you want to around anywhere from -15 to -25. You can use your headphones with both ears to make sure that you're getting the full audio to see which one is better. But I would just change this to -28 if it was just a regular audio. Around -10 actually might be good for this.
Today we have an exciting video because we're sitting in front of the camera.
So that's how you would normally do it, is you would just keep going through it in effect controls and seeing what's best. But if we undo all this and I hit right click, audio gain, I use this option because I can visibly see the audio changing. So if I set -5, as you can see, the audio went down. That helps me visualize the actual volume of the audio a bit better instead of just going in here and changing it. Adjust gain and set gain aren't really that different. It's just when you hit adjust gain, whatever you type in here gets added or subtracted up there. So you probably just want to use set gain if you want to be exact. That's pretty much it. Make sure that your music actually matches your video. Like if it's really calm and you're like in the middle of a Fortnite match, unless that Fortnite match is really boring and chill, then you probably want to find some more upbeat or dramatic music, right? Next, you want to just add a sound effect. I showed you how to censor, so you already know that. But if you just want to add like a ding sound effect for some reason.
So you read the title, in which that case you probably
Like it doesn't fit, but I'm just showing you an example because you never know what you're going to be editing. First of all, you can see where the audio starts and ends. One goofy thing about Premiere Pro is when you're exporting audio or video files individually to save on your computer, like I did, it'll have the tendency to put a little bit of blank space before the start of your clip, so your audio isn't too short. Premiere Pro will just put a little bit of space in the front, and if you want your audio to be just pinpoint accurate to where it's supposed to be, you can cut that. In certain circumstances, you kind of have to give it a little space, because otherwise it'll sound like it's cut in. So give it the least amount of space it needs, and then it's natural. If you want to sync up a sound effect with your video, I can't really give you an exact way to do that. When I was doing the how to edit or how to do my intro video, I think I explained it pretty well. And you can do this with any song. I'm telling you, you can do this with any song. Like if it has a beat, you can just use any song. It just, with more beats or more lyrics, it just takes longer, you know, because it has more spots where you need to cut. Like every time it makes another bam, 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 you do that. And I'll show you when you need to end it, right over here. Right there. Before it goes to the... That's when you stop the cuts, because there's not going to be that many after that. That's how I did it for this specific, like, song. Whenever you're using a sound effect or you're using background music, you want to make sure that you zoom in, which can be done by either pulling here on Premiere Pro's timeline, or I think there's actually a zoom tool. Yeah, you can zoom in right like that as well. You always want to make sure you're precise, because otherwise you're going to seem like an amateur, and I know none of you are amateurs. Well, you might be if you're just starting out, but I know you are all capable of amazing things. So, when you're doing this, make sure that you are precise, because you can see where the audio beats are for the most part, unless your song has a lot of beats, which is a nightmare, trust me, I know. You shouldn't have too much trouble discerning when you should cut if you're doing something like I've been doing. If you're just having background music for the sake of background music, you really just drop it on, fade it in if you want, which by the way, you can do pretty simply in the effect controls panel. It's the same thing. You add a keyframe for the regular volume, like right here, and then you go back and you change the volume down to like a inaudible length, like -30. So you see it fades in, and that's a nice touch that you could add if you want to like seem a little bit more professional. But yeah, that's basically everything you need to know to edit like a YouTuber. I'm gonna go back to me in the past so I can end this video, but thanks for watching. Sometimes I just pick really good outro music because it sounds so good. But yeah, if this were to ever be a video, that would be the outro music. But yeah, that's the entire video edited. That's the rough cut. That's the outro. I don't know every single thing about Premiere Pro, obviously, but I taught you everything you need to know to edit like a YouTuber. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and maybe subscribe. I would appreciate it. As always, I will see every single one of you capable, amazing people. Sorry, I hit my mic. In the next video. Bye-bye!
Rapping like the narco, got dope like Pablo.